Let's check in here to make sure you guys can see me okay. Um, Let me know if you all can hear me. I'm gonna check over to the screen to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, man. Good morning, man. Good morning, man. Wow, just checking at the shop. Um, the job, all very good. LPC, LGS community. Yeah, guys, we're checking in. Yeah, I see a lot of folks checked in here. Howdy, howdy. That was Ace. We got Powell. Got the usual crew on today. And okay, loud and clear. All right, so with that said, all right, man, we about to get rocking and rolling, guys, man. You should be happy to be with LPC and with our support project LGS. I know we had some FUD early on in the community, but I'll talk a little bit about that later, man. We got to stay positive, keep moving forward, and as a result, man, just to keep doing great things. I want to make some announcements today, just in general, go over the cryptocurrency market with BTC, the rest of the coins, the overall market in general, move into LPC, LGS, then talk about some of the updates that we have in the community, and then at the same time, just address some general questions. And as I try to always say, I try to keep it to 30 minutes or so. But you know, sometimes we go over. We're highly engaged group, and you guys have lots of questions. I know you do. So, without any further ado, man, let me go ahead and move into the agenda for today, just covering the overall market condition. So right now, looking at coin market cap, we are around 137 billion. Earlier in the week, we were at 119, I think 119 billion. So we got 20 billion back in less than a week, which if you're looking at things the way it's going now, this one day move, this 13.38% for Bitcoin, is the largest one day move that largest move that we've had in Bitcoin since way back, largest positive move um, since the bull run of last year, looking at a 13% jump. So I'm not talking about the dips. So we saw the dip where it lost massive amounts of market cap, but it's the time now where looking at the 7-day graph, it looks like we hit the bottom a few days ago. But I'll move into an overall market as well. Everything looks to be in the green. I mean, everything is in the green. So there's a few other things that aren't, but let's just look at it overall and try to give you guys an analogy of how what I see and what I think is beginning to happen in the overall space. So let's see advertising global charts. And as this thing spins up, we're going to look at, even though we see overall, let's do 1 year. No, well, actually, you can see it here because it's actually very clear looking at this run up that started really last year, summer, and then it went all the way through January 2018 to reach the peak around January 7th, and then the overall market did a pullback. And then we entered in from, we did a parabolic run up, and then we reached the peak, which signified the end of the bull run, and then we entered into a bear run that's lasted almost a good year. If you're now 11 months and some change, technically speaking. But then going down, we entered into a bull market, and then we thought we were consolidating around September or so when the market was going flat. And then I think I indicated on a couple like charts that I did, and at the same time, I thought that we were entering into more of a consolidation phase. But then with what happened most recently, right around the same time of the Bitcoin Cash, I'll call it the Bitcoin Cash Wars, where you had Craig Wright and Roger Ver going after each other. That introduced a lot of uncertainty in the market. Then we had a huge dip. It was at the point where it was crazy, a huge panic, looked like a panic sale. Everybody was in despair. People started doing crazy things, moving, doing things that weren't necessarily consistent with what you would think people would do during a bear market, but they did it. And what happened is that we saw a huge spike in the volume. If you can see it, let's see if I can just come in here at the 3 month. And just this is just looking at the overall market. And look at just the volume around here, just leading up from September, October, then November, and then we had this huge capitulation where we had a dip in the overall market. Looks like we hit bottom around 119. Let's see, yeah, 116 we hit bottom on the 25th. That was 3 days ago. So in 3 days we went from a market cap of 116 to 137 billion. So, and now we see a run up. So this is some evidence. If you go back and you look at, for instance, I'm going to click on this nice little chart in terms of the psychology and looking at market cycles. So there's a huge run up where you have hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, and then when there's a bull run, and then it was a pullback, there's complacency, some anxiety, some denial that is happening, some panic, and we had this huge capitulation here, and then there's some angry, and then there's another run up here, and then there's a pullback, and then there's a deep dip. There's a dip. So it's at the point now when there's the dip, then it comes out of that V-shaped symmetrical dip to a sell-off to a run up. So this nice V-shaped dip. Let's see what happens over the next few days or so. Looking at, say, let's go back to the yearly or all time. Just looking at all. Even though it's apparent here, you can see it here. So you have this run up, that pullback, that despair, the anxiety, panic, the capitulation here. What I'm expecting, and once again, this is not financial advice. So go check, talk with your financial advisor about this. I'm just giving you my opinion. There was the sell-off, and then now, if it's anything like what history tells us about bull runs, bear runs, capitulations, and what's really kicks off some bull runs. This is one of the patterns where you see a huge dip and then you see a huge run up that's symmetrical with the dip. So hopefully in the next 3 to 4 days we'd have a recovery back to where we were. If it's anything like what we see here in this chart where there's a dip and then there's a run up. And then that would hopefully signify that we are entering into a bull phase. If we can get back to where we were and then start making higher lows and higher highs. Obviously, we're going to have some intermediate pullbacks, but overall, we're looking to enter into the bear market. So that's overall what I see happening with the market, and I'll move into what I see happening with LPC, in LGS, what's the LPC? Moving into Lightpay coin within coin market cap, we have a 34% rise in our market cap that's reported on coin market cap, a 34% rise up to 25 cents. I think that's a good run, considering that we were at about 16, 17 cents a few days ago, similar to where Bitcoin was. We dropped much farther than Bitcoin did, but I think we are going to recover much faster and accelerate. As a result, Bitcoin didn't jump up 34%. It went up like 14, 15%. I don't know the exact number, but it was double-digit gain. My market cap is about $1 million and some change here, and it's doing okay. And once again, this is for the volume that is reported on coin market cap. And just to go over as well, we're also listed on Binance Info. That happened this week, and it's a necessary and sufficient condition for being listed on the exchange Binance. You have to be listed first on Binance.info. No, you can't even submit your application to Binance without having first done this little bit of work where they have information about the organization, your volume, what you're doing, the repository, the community, things like that. So we have submitted both our information for the listing here, and we were listed in about a day. It didn't take any time. It was relatively quick. And at the same time, we have our application in as well. So that's some good news that I'm being able to share with you right now. Let's move into what's happening in with the master nodes LPC. As you can see here, we're at 27 cents right now, a 41% change. Considering where we were these past few days, guys, to see we dropped well over 33%, and to make a huge recovery that fast. And look at our volume now, over $214,000 in volume. A $2.2 million market cap with 2,827 master nodes. Just pause for a second right there, guys. Look at that volume, 214,000. Going back here to LightPay coin on here, we only have 19,149. So if we go back to masternodes.online, take a quick look, take a click in, and let's see what's actually happening here. It is the case that we have been listed on 2 new exchanges, Exchange Assets and FinexBox. FinexBox is the exchange of is the altcoin exchange of Bitfinex. So I'm just putting some news out there as we review what's happening now. What happened with both of these exchanges, Exchange Assets and with FinexBox, we got picked up. So with with the first exchange Asset, we reached out and they asked us, did we want to list? Say yes, we wanted to list, and we did list with Exchange Assets. That's actually an exchange out of the out of Ukraine. So it's the case that we did send our white hat or our IT security analyst to check out the site, try to punch some holes in the exchange, try to get into it. And then we let them know that, hey, they had a couple things they needed to fix. They fixed those things, and we got some advertising as a result as well. So we're good, and we're listed on Exchange Asset, but our volume is coming from this new exchange, Bitfinex altcoin exchange, FinexBox. Guys, we're moving in a positive direction. We're continuing to make strides day after day. And this is something that we didn't necessarily looking at it ourselves. This is something that we got picked up by FinexBox. And so it wasn't the case that we actually had to apply to list on them. They actually evaluated our project, looked at our team, looked at what we were doing, the progress that we were making, probably viewed our videos. And guys, we're one of the only projects that's week after week we do videos. When we have issues or we have some things we need to address, we have videos. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And with that said, man, shout out to you all, you guys, for bearing with us during this process. And other people are recognizing, or investors are recognizing, and exchanges are recognizing who we are, what we're doing. We're the new kids on the block. We're 6 months in. At the point where we're getting ready to launch our ATM machines and point of sale devices in less than 2 weeks now. In Dallas and in Colombia. So it's the point we're doing great things. That's with LPC. I'm just going to do a quick recap with our support project. Where is that? Here with LGS. Let's see if we can quickly get that up and going here. Where's the little search button? Yeah. Here it is right here. We're moving Dash, Ethereum, LightPay coin, and actually one of the top 10 coins in terms of our volume. Looking at LPC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, top 9. So with our support project of Lotus coin, we've had a pullback that Lotus coin hasn't quite recovered from just yet. So it's in a position where there was a pullback. It hasn't recovered just yet. I don't know exactly. We have a lot of things going with LGS, and I'll mention those too as we move into the general area, general comments. But let me take a quick pause because, man, I've just been running my mouth, haven't been looking at any of the comments at all. But it's at the point now where I think we're in a solid position with the organizations we have going. Okay, let's see. Um, how do I get confidence? Team is not related to developing, and that's questions coming from Derek Lee. Is not related to developing LMR and includes because it's all managed LMR on their website. Checks most of the members of LPC or listen. Yes, Derek, it's the case that there was the issue that happened a few days ago where the co-founder of our organization, and I'm a co-founder as well, Vlad, and he's also one of the lead developers. He came and he started a project. It was something that necessarily I was not involved. I have nothing to do with it at all. So it's the case, and he's not necessarily the first developer on our team to start a project. So it's something that I addressed in the video. I can send you the links. Send you the link to the video that I covered to discuss this. So I'll push it out to you in the Discord. If you're on the Discord channel, please just chat your name to me. I'll give you the video. We discussed it, and that's something that we had to address. So I addressed it in the video, and then that's all that I'll talk about for now. But then it's the case that Vlad, the co-founder of the project, and like I said, it's happened on other teams as well, where members of the team, other developers, and it happened to us earlier. Yuri went out and started his project as well, and it's the case that constantly, I'll say it now, it's constantly the case that when we developed our work LPC LGS, that people would come after me. People would Other projects would solicit me and say, Damon, will you come lead our project? There were people who were offering me 20% of what they had in pre-mine to come run their projects. So, and as I mentioned, my dedication is to LPC. That's where I do have my loyalty, and that's where we will fulfill our mission with our support project in logistics and distribution, sending out our ATMs, distributing them across the world using our LGS application. And I'll just leave it at that. I can go on, but there's a video that I did about an hour long. I'll go ahead and um, get the URL over to you so that you can view it. I've had too much wine, or is this video blurry? It could be blurry. I'm not quite sure, Panda. Um, um, quite crisp. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. How about we make a voting system for master holder or accounts or something so we can provide suggestions freely and vote on it based on. And that's a great idea, Ahmed, in terms of creating some ideas for us being able to uh, being able to resolve issues. And I think one way that we can quickly begin to do this, now that I've gone over the market and I've gone over LPC, LGS, and addressed some of the issues related to um, the developer creating another project that's not related to LPC, not related to LGS, but it is the case that someone from LPC, yes, he and Vlad will continue to support LPC and LGS. Um, and it's something that he created just and I think I addressed this in the video. It's something that he created. If he was involved in LPC, initially we founded LPC LGS, we pushed the organization forward. I incorporated a legal entity responsible for the management of LPC and LGS, and that's Exchange. And actually, I think I could show you guys some information here. I know we're going all over the place, but this is our site of the managing entity. It's called Exchange. And this is actually where we'll begin to start integrating all of our products in terms of what we have called XPay, and that's our payment network that we're building out right now with LPC as the foundation. Um, so Exchange is a distributed and decentralized platform designed to facilitate secure exchange of information and digital assets at lightning speed and planetary scale. Exchange uses innovation of blockchain, AI, and scalable database management systems. Multiple independent networks are built on top of Exchange. That's including LGS, LPC, and it uses Lightpay coin as utility currency for network users. We have three primary applications, which Lightpay coin, Lotus coin are little pieces of the puzzle of the larger picture that I'm filling you all in. Obviously, there's updates to our white paper that we need to make, but this hasn't come out yet in terms of scaling out XPay and Xserve and Expose. So with XPay, which is mostly what we're focused on right now with LPC and LGS, is that payment network. It's the payment for digital commerce, payments for products and service using any currency. At the end of the day, we want to facilitate the cryptocurrency industry. We want to be able to push LPC, LGS, and other cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and others, out to the masses. We don't necessarily need to be in a position where we're fighting each other. So I really do think they're trivial at the end of the day, where you have a $60 billion drop in market cap just because two guys want to see how big their shoes are. So with that said, I think we should begin to create products for the entire space so that we all can have an opportunity to succeed. And I think XPay is a part of that, using LPC as the foundation. So, and also Xcert, which is another one. This is a platform that we are also building as well for educational and workforce development, certifications, degrees, um, and other credentials. So just imagine you having an application where you would have all your job certifications and all the trainings that you've had on a blockchain-based application, and you can share those with employers, identify the certifications or the credentials and the training that you've had, and you verify. For instance, 50% of the PhDs listed on applications are not even real PhDs. These are people who are falsifying their credentials. And if you'd like to check mine, you can go to UCF. Feel free. I'd give the information to see my transcripts and all. But it's the case with degrees. Some degrees don't even exist. People are just putting on their resumes just to say they have one. Times are hard now. People do what they need to do in order to get by, but this is one way of certifying your degree, certifying the training that you received in the organization. So we have Xcert, XPay, which is the payment network that we're currently building, and then the next one is actually Expose. It's just for documenting abuses at all levels within various it's listed governments here, but we're targeting institutions that want, and people in an uncensored way, institutions and organizations doing what they're not supposed to do. For instance, with Facebook, Facebook is popular, and I have no shame in calling them out. They have abuses and corruptions within their organization, and they're not transparent. That's one reason why we're pushing for decentralization. So these are our three long-term applications. You're talking about 10, 20 years down the line, these will be fully operational. We'll move in beta within the next 2 to 3 years, but Lightpay Coin and Lotus Coin serve the foundation for our first project, and that is XPay. And that is the payment infrastructure, both the software with the masternodes and the hardware with the ATM machines and point-of-sale devices distributed physically around the world. So you have a physical distributed network, almost like an exchange of sorts, a true decentralized exchange of sorts for cryptocurrency, and you have a software infrastructure, distributed, decentralized infrastructure as well. And this will be the way in which masternodes owners can log on to the site. They'll be able to view their masternodes if they have ATM machines or point-of-sale devices and have those linked to their masternodes. This is where they'll be able to view it. We'll also have access and plugins from our web wallets as well with Eurex.io. If you've been to Eurex.io, that's our official web wallet that we have. Excuse me. and this is our official web wallet and one-click masternode service. So it's the case, and I see Brooke it's at the point. This is our official web wallet, and the question excerpt. I like excerpt myself. But it's the case. We'll have our plugins, our web plugins, where you'll be able to take, similar to PayPal, you'll be able to take a plugin, put it on your website if you are a merchant and you are looking to accept cryptocurrency. You'll be able to easily and quickly take that plugin, put it on your website, use LPC, LGS, BTC, and other cryptocurrencies that we choose to put on our site. And this is part of XPay, which Exchange plays a part of that in helping to build out our web plugins as well. So this is a strategic relationship I don't think most of you know about, but I think you do. So I think it's important that you guys really know like the larger picture. I know that we've been running 100 miles an hour because it's important for us to make some development and progress in these past 6 months during this bear market to let you know that we're doing work. I know we get a lot of complaints. Hey, your website sucks. Da 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 da. It's minimally viable at this point. We'll definitely make iterations to it, but we need to get the MVP out. We need to get out the ATM machines. We need to get out the point of sale devices. We need to invest in URXIO in actually having them build out our web plugins, our web wallets, our one-click master nodes. Guys, we're pushing through on a lot of different things, but it'll be at a position during the bear market, a lot of work has gotten done. In the bull runs, we'll see the fruits of our labor manifest in the exchange that happened of our cryptocurrency on a wide variety of exchanges that we have. I'll take a quick pause. Is it possible to have a video chat between yourself and Colin about logistics platform and any developments in that space? Oh, yes. Let's coordinate a time. Colin is in Shanghai. It's the case because he's in Shanghai. We have to coordinate hours. I know he's up now and probably on the webinar. But yeah, let's usually I'm up till around 2 in the morning. That's well into his day. I think around 7 or 8 p.m. We can get on a chat and have a conversation. And I'll give you some updates right now in terms of the progress with LPC. As I mentioned earlier with LPC, we're listed on 2 more exchanges, Exchange Assets and Finex Box, which is Bitfinex altcoin exchange, and that's a pretty big exchange. You know, we have hundreds of thousands of dollars in volume now as a consequence of just one exchange being added, and as a result, our price is being manifested accordingly. Our volume is beginning to pick up, and we're doing well. So yeah, touch base with me on Discord. That's the Ant Hill Farm, and then we can go from there. And the update, and that was the update with LPC. With LGS, this week I'm actually meeting with our traditional logistics and supply chain partner, and that's on target logistics and supply, to begin moving forward of the integration of the LGS blockchain into their operations. So I haven't mentioned our partner just yet, but they are our partner, and we're moving forward with them. They're based out of Dallas, and they have regional and international customers for both shipping, rail, and the rubber wheel or traditional trucking logistics. So we're building our LPC application into their current processes. So it's the point now, and we'll make the formal announcement at this point. But I did want to give you some feedback on terms of what's happening with Logis Coin. So let me take a quick pause to see if there are any questions here. You should reach to famous store building sites to get some ads on them. Possible. And insert your yeah. And right now, with me, guys, I respectfully request that you execute on behalf of LPC, LGS, to the degree that you are an investor and you have the best interest in mind. You don't have to depend on me. Here's what I would love to happen if there were members, like for instance, if you were a brand ambassador, or not even a brand ambassador, um, or not even a brand ambassador, but if you were someone who wanted to do something on behalf of LPC, LGS, for instance, build a website. For instance, like Tron has like dozens and dozens of websites and enthusiastic investors who create websites for the project. If you wanted to build a web wallet, you could build a web wallet to the degree it's secure. Touch base with our IT security guy so he can um, attempt to see if he can punch a hole in it and show you where you might have some vulnerabilities. Um, so please, I encourage you. I would rather you go out, do something that's in the best interest of LPC, LGS, and fail and ask for an apology than for you to come to me and say, hey, Damien, can we do ABC? If you have the contacts, if you know some people, reach out. If you're like a brand ambassador, I think that would be great, being officially recognized as a brand ambassador and then moving into the space where you can say, hey, I'm an official brand ambassador of LPC or LGS. It's the case that we have some product offerings, like for instance with Crypt2 with their plugin. Could we do a pilot at your store? Website or otherwise, or get involved with an incubator or accelerator and just giving a quick talk about LPC, LGSA, or just jumping on YouTube and having a live chat, where you're just talking about what's happening in the community. I'm not the only one that should be like on this channel, and I think at a certain point it makes sense for us to move out of YouTube because they do censor a lot. And there is a competitor in the space, and I'll just quickly point them out. And it's called DTube, and this is the decentralized version of YouTube. So getting on the decentralized version of YouTube, oh my, look at it. It looks exactly like YouTube, but it is the decentralized version. Start up a channel, and just to let you know, instead of people liking comments and giving you a thumbs up, you actually get paid in cryptocurrency for posting your videos. So for instance, you see this one's $45 for a video, $79 for a video. So it's the case, $130 for a video. So if you can switch over to DTube, start doing some chats, some live streams about LPC, getting out the word, and then subsequently taking this, posting it to, for instance, Steam it, and get the word out and Steam it. That is the decentralized version of a social site compared to like Facebook. So it takes a while to get approved on Steemit unless you were to buy some Steam and fast track your application. But it took me a couple weeks to get listed there as well. So you see my ID, I'm already on DTube. So at a certain point, we will start switching over our videos, come getting out of the centralized and censorship prone YouTube. But we're doing a live stream right now, so who knows? This might get cut off in the middle of our conversation. But yeah, that's the case. You can get paid, or you can get paid in cryptocurrencies for people liking your videos. So this is the move to what it's all about. The centralized, concentrated power within, or that concentrated version of Facebook where people are cordoned off into the small centralized world that a few people control and they censor information. You can move to Steam it where you're not necessarily censored. Similar to YouTube, where it's centralized and it's controlled by a few individuals and it's censorship prone. Let's move to DTube now and begin to get the word out about LightPay coin, Logis coin. And once again, you guys are ambassadors. Everyone's an ambassador here. Let's see. What else? Yes, and everybody's an ambassador. So, and that's from Powell. I think it's not a rumor. Info.binance happened. Some people don't read and come up with ridiculous speculation. Then it's just a domino effect. Info.binance is not the Binance exchange. And I'll be clear, Powell, so just make it clear to everyone. Yes, we have submitted our application to Binance. That's all I can say right now. We have submitted our application to be listed on Binance. At the same time, before you can actually trade on the Binance exchange, you must be listed on info.binance.com. So it is a necessary but not sufficient condition for us being able to be listed on the #1 cryptocurrency exchange in all of the world. So right now, that's the first step. We must be on this site. We must register some volume. We must show information about our team in order for us to move forward. Yeah. um, so that's where we are right now. So as I mentioned earlier, with On Target, we're meeting with them this week to talk about aspects around integrating the LGS blockchain into their current operations, so that they can begin tracking our ATMs as they begin to ship and move across the world. So, and with our ATMs, there's specifications where there's a GPS device, or RFID, or radio RFID tag um, that's on the device that shows its movement as it's going around the world. APIs being integrated into our application for us to track as it moves, place it on the LPC blockchain, place any notes or large documents associated with the same into IPFS. So it's the case. It's a great operation that we're moving forward on. But it's the case. LGS it will progress. Right now, we do see a little bit of dip in the price action, but we're here for the long term, guys. We're not here for a 1 or 2 year SPAC to just see what it's like to play in the cryptocurrency space. And I think we need long term players. Some people can speculate, but at the same time, um, I like for us to really be in a position where we are able to thrive and succeed. I heard somebody say refresh the page. That's a nice surprise always. Yeah, it was a nice little jump that we had there as well. But then we saw a 44% increase on Mastodon. And just note, where they get their information in terms of the volume is not necessarily the same place that Mastodon Online gets their information. For instance, they're not necessarily connected to, or they don't necessarily have the volume that we have on Mastodon Online. So right now it only shows us as having 7,971 dollars in global volume. But then it's the case if you go to our new exchange that we just listed on, looking at Mastodon Online, 7,000 dollars in volume here versus a good where are we? $200,000 in volume here. So $200,000 in volume versus $7,000 in volume. We're moving, and I think the one of the more important things, I like the nominal price moving where we were back a few days ago, but then it's the case that we also need to increase our market cap. I think that's important to get larger investors. I don't necessarily want to be in a position where somebody can come in with $50,000, $20,000, where you have a pump group with say $200,000 to $300,000 in it. And if for that box, I haven't looked at all the functionality in it, but if you're able to short different currencies, people will be shorting us to death. I don't want that to happen. I don't want us to be manipulated. I like for our volume to increase, and I like our market cap to increase so that we're able to protect our investors at the end of the day. These 2,828 Masternode holders, in addition to all the confirmation nodes, the tens of thousands of confirmation nodes that we have in the network, my ultimate responsibility is to be able to protect the investors within our network. That's why we have one of the best hackers in the world, who's able to hack into AT&T, and be recognized as such, and telling them about their vulnerabilities, hacking into Oracle, and then having them to recognize and plug some of the issues that they have, and then hacking into exchanges, and then giving them information and having them help out. We're doing a great job. We got a kick-ass team. Excuse my French for those of you who don't use who don't like profanity, but I'll say it again. We got a kick-ass team, guys, and I think we're doing some great things. We're fumbling up, and that's with any team. You'll have some issues, you have some trials, some tribulations, but at the end of the day, we're family, y'all. So I take this responsibility seriously, and I think we're doing a great job pushing forward. $200,000, 1.1 million in market cap, and I think we're moving in the right direction. There was somebody who did mention uh, questions around the LGS wallet. The LGS wallet is being updated. There was an issue with the wallet, which could perhaps be contributing to um, its price action right now. The team is on it. There's Icon Man and Vlad as well, focused on fixing that particular issue. We will be making the updates for the LPC wallet upgrades as well, because it needs to be done. We need to constantly be making improvements, not necessarily just for the sake of making updates to our repository, but it makes sense that it's in a minimally viable position at this point where it does function. It doesn't cause necessarily any issues at this point that we have discovered, but there are some things we do need to make some upgrades. So thanks for bringing it up. Why in coin market cap shows 200K generated for one day? Is it right or wrong? And this is from Ivan. Coin market cap shows 200K generated for one day. Is it right or wrong? I'm not quite sure. I get you. I'm going to go to coin market cap and look at LGS. I think it shows 74K in volume, about 843 market cap. I'm not quite sure what you're suggesting, but hopefully we'll get around to um, getting the issue resolved around the wallet team. The Icon Man is working on it right now. Vlad is working on the issue as well, to be able to get the wallet updated. Same thing with the LPC wallets as well. So I covered the things that I did want to cover for LPC, LGS. The big news right now, our application is into Binance. We are on info.binance.com. We're also listed on 2 more exchanges. That's Exchange Assets and Finetbox. And we'll continue to add more exchanges as we make progress in this space. We wanted to be 40. We want to be on 40 exchanges. Really, the goal was December, but I thought we'd be in a bull run by now to be able to list on more exchanges, but we're having to take our time. But we're getting there slowly but surely. We're on a lot more exchanges than what some people thought we would be, but we're in a sufficient position now to make some progress during the next bull run. Hmm. Okay, some of the people on the LRM team are under the impression that you'll be joining them once you get some free time. And here's my position on this. I'd be willing to do any project in the cryptocurrency space to the degree that I deliver on what I'm able to do. So it's the point we deliver on the LPC promise. We get the ATM machines out. We get the point of sale devices out. We have XPay launch, Xcert launch. We have Expose launch. We have LGS totally functional, doing things and serving its operation and its original purpose, delivering the ATM machines, point of sale devices, and then moving on to the next use cases. To the degree that we're able to deliver on any products, the products that we have committed to, I have a fiduciary responsibility to every investor who's watching on this call to deliver on our promise. This is not something that you would take lightly and moving into the organization and then just jumping to do something else to the degree you have not delivered on what you said you're going to deliver. So I'll make it crystal clear. I'd love to participate in a project to the degree that I have the skill set to contribute. But right now, my primary focus is in LPC, building the people's financial network, built, owned, and operated by the people. So let that be clear. So to the degree that this work does not get done, I'm not doing anything. I'm not participating in any work. I'm solely committed to LPC and its support project on LGS. So it should be clear. All right. Let's see. I don't think there shouldn't be any other questions at this point. So if there aren't any questions, guys, we're at 10:46. I'll hold it out one more time, see if you guys have any more questions, and then we'll go from there. I'll take a quick pause because I know there's a little delay, and I kind of try to see how you all see it in real time, so I can answer questions as you view what I'm saying and then respond to it. Is there any expected time for us to see LGS shine again? When should LGS be merged with the logistic corporation suggested? That work is in progress. We're having conversations. For our first pilot and getting out our ATM machines, we will be tracking the movement as that ATM machine moves from our manufacturer. Right now is in Medellin, Colombia, in Coinlogis, to the respective location in Nigeria or in South Africa. Right now, they're having discussions, our Coinlogis, with some of our pilot partners in South Africa about some of the legal requirements for putting our ATMs and point of sale devices in country. So and when that pilot happens, we will be documenting that not only with the UCF professors and building use cases to teach the students about the applications of cryptocurrency within real world settings. Um, but then it's the case LGS will be tracking that application or the movement of that point of sale device to that customer. We will be documenting all aspects of LPC, all aspects of LGS, bundling those up for the respective companies that are involved, the technology companies and the universities who will teach students, who will begin to share this with their customers and say, hey, we have a top-notch project, we have a top-notch team, we have some products that are out, they're functional and they work. So I'm looking at spring 2019. It's the case we're looking to have those first ATMs shipped out. December we're doing the reveal. In spring, maybe January, February timeframe. But the conversations are already moving. The chess pieces are already being put in place for the legal requirements of placing those ATMs in country, working with our pilot customer and our technology partners to be able to document those cases. If we're in a bull run season, it may happen then. But as you see now, there was a run up in terms of the reward distributions for LGS, and then subsequently there was a pullback because of the increase in supply, which the demand didn't necessarily correspond with it. As a result, you had a decrease in the market price. Even though there are some things that you can say, hey, we're still in the bear market, and that overall macro condition is actually suppressing the price as well. And then there's some issues that we need to handle technically in getting the wallet updated. But I expect when the bull market happens, to the degree that we're able to document the use case properly, with LPC and LGS intricately involved with our logistics partner, then I see no issue that the value or the nominal price will catch up with the value of LGS. So this is the same thing now. Us being listed on FinexBox, I think that's a recognition by investors and exchanges that there is value well beyond the nominal price that you see of 25 cents. So I do think it's going to catch up at some point in time. So LGS Explorer that you can monitor right now, not official. And check in the master on MNO for the Explorers for LGS, and I think you should be squared away. When the first machines be installed and where? Actually, the first machine will be installed in Dallas and the reveal. It's going to be the first machine that we have in office that we're doing for the reveal. We may place it into a couple strategic locations just to see and begin to experiment here in the DFW area. What are the optimal places? Does it make sense to put it in the airport? Does it make sense to put it in the mall? Does it make sense to put it in a business like a barber shop or a restaurant? So there are a few things that we have to experiment on. But Dallas Fort Worth, that's where the first one is being shipped. That's where the first one will actually be installed, have all of its functionality. That's where we'll be building the applications on top of applications of XPay on top of that to be able to monitor transactions, be able to direct your Masternode holdings to the machine. So it's the case we're still MVP. So in Dallas, and it will be installed in Dallas. The first one in the offices that we have, and that's 3001 Dallas Parkway. That's suite number 520, where we will be doing the reveal on the 8th and the 9th of December. And we'll do that one live, and then we'll also do a live stream in Medellin, Colombia, the week after that one. So let me know. This is just the beginning. I'm calling it here now. LGS 175. And that's with Strider. Sure, I think you're kind of lowballing the price at 175. LGS should be unstoppable. It just means that we're a lot, and even LPC, to be honest. Yeah, it's a comprehensive program, a comprehensive strategy where we have a lot of little chess pieces. I think you guys are beginning to see the chess pieces coming together, looking at exchange, and I would encourage you to go back and just begin to look at it. At some point when I slow down, more than likely when the bear run happens, I'll be able to document this in like a thesis-like paper and then begin to lay out what we're truly doing. But kind of like Herb Kelleher, who's one of I think one of the best CEOs in the history of aviation with Southwest. He said, "We don't have a business plan; we just do it." So it's one of the things, and I think he's been honest from day to day moving forward. We do have a general strategy that we have on paper, and that hasn't necessarily been communicated out. It's in a lot of our applications that we have, but if some of you are interested in seeing our applications and what we have planned, I'm willing to share that. But it's almost like revealing your strategy to your competitors, in a sense, in terms of what you're doing. So there are some things that we would like to keep close to the vest. But then as they develop and as we push out, like with XPay, like with our physical decentralized network, people are seeing that. And now everybody like, oh, I never thought about an exchange actually being physical, where I can take my money, put it in, and even if I don't have a mobile phone, get a paper LPC wallet and actually engage in commerce outside of a physical exchange, having nothing to do with any technology at all. That's 1 billion people we're talking about. No one's focused on those folks and having them be able to engage in a cryptocurrency exchange. We want to focus on those people without computers, without mobile phones, and include the others with the mobile devices and the internet, high-speed internet connections around the world. Is the Columbia event open for attendees? Yes, it is. So I will have to get you the address to our manufacturer, CoinLogix, for the event. But yes, it's open as well. And those guys, they're a hardworking team. They really set things out. And it's the case. And I think we're in a very, very good position with one of the greatest partners that we have. We have a lot of good partners in place. But this one I see as being something special for us and for us to be able to deliver on our brand promise. Yes, sir. We're taking no prisoners. So right now, lace your boots up, gents. We're going to war. All right. With that said, man, I can close this thing out, man. It's just 10:55. We can talk all day. But let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up in the DM channel, and then we can go from there. Thanks, guys. Here.